today is really a happy day and marks a very important milestone.
Let's always remember, we are getting closer to the finish line, but the race is not over, and the pandemic is certainly not over.
Good evening, I'm Haryanto Diman. From next Tuesday, April 26th, Singapore will see a major relaxation of COVID-19 rules. In a news conference held this afternoon, it was announced that the nation's DORSCON level will be adjusted from orange to yellow, given the improving situation with daily cases falling and stabilizing. The level had been at orange for over 2 years, since February 2020. As for the changes, limits across safe management measures in 5 core parameters will be lifted, except for mask wearing. Group sizes, no limit on the number of people who can get together. Mask wearing will remain optional outdoors and continue to be required in indoor settings. But in indoor workplace settings, employees may also remove their masks at their workstations when they are not interacting with others and when they are not in customer-facing areas. At the workplace, all workers may return to the workplace up from the current limit of 75%. Safe distancing, as group size limits are lifted, safe distancing will no longer be required between individuals or groups. Capacity limits will be removed for all settings except at nightlife establishments where dancing is one of the intended activities.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for your patience, trust and support in our journey towards living with COVID-19. Today's announcement marks a significant milestone in our journey. I would like to encourage everyone to remain vigilant as the situation can change quickly. The government will also continue to monitor both the local and global situation closely so that we can respond quickly to any development.
Also from the 26th, vaccination differentiated measures or VDS will be removed from most settings. But there are exceptions at events with more than 500 participants at any one time, as well as at nightlife establishments where dancing is one of the intended activities, and F&B outlets including restaurants, coffee shops and hawker centres.
As we stand down VDS for various settings, such as malls, supermarkets, places of worship I mentioned earlier, venue owners can deactivate their safe entry operations. However, where VDS still applies, namely what I mentioned earlier, certain night spots and larger events with more than 500 people at any one time, safe entry check-in will still be required to verify the vaccination and test status of the participants. And this is operationally familiar to event organizers and venue operators and will be convenient to implement. As for restaurants, coffee shops, and hawker centers, VDS applies, but we will instead rely on random checks on individuals by service staff and enforcement officers. This is already the practice for hawker centers and coffee shops today, but we will now extend the arrangement to restaurants. That means mandated SE entry check-ins can be removed at all F&B establishments. The onus is on the patrons and customers to ensure that they are fully vaccinated before dining in F&B establishment.
Most venues will also no longer need the public to check in via safe entry except for large events and night spots. But don't delete your Trace Together app or throw away your token just yet. Trace Together is still necessary to check vaccination status, and contact tracing may be ramped up again in response to a new variant. From April 26th as well, fully vaccinated travellers and non-fully vaccinated children 12 years old and below who enter Singapore via air or sea checkpoints will no longer need to take a pre-departure test. Entry requirements for non-fully vaccinated travellers remain unchanged. They must still take a pre-departure test within 2 days before departure for Singapore. undergo a 7-day SHN, and take a PCR test at the end of their SHN period. Currently, vaccinated travellers via land checkpoints are already not required to take pre-departure or on-arrival COVID-19 tests. Meanwhile, from May 1st, Singapore bus operators will resume cross-border bus services between Singapore and Johor Bahru. Cross-border taxi operations will also resume from that day. Visit straitstimes.com for more on today's announcements. You can also watch the full media conference on the Straits Times' YouTube channel. Subscribe by hitting the red button below. I'm Haryanto Diman. Stay safe. Have a good weekend. Thanks for watching.